Previously on Elden Ring. With Margaret dead and the rolled medallion in our possession, it was time to head to the mountaintop of the giants. Unfortunately, someone didn't get taught directions in college, so Zeus kept walking the wrong way. So much so, he walked off a cliff, and all the enemies decided that Carrot was too much to deal with, and they all left, leaving a lifeless ghost town. After uploading a video to YouTube apologizing for all the murdering in the city, they decided to return. We went up a tower where a giant was guarding a portal to the isolated Divine Tower. Unfortunately, it appears that we've been locked out and forgot our keys at home. We'll come back later. Finally, after running around, getting lost for almost an hour, Zeus found the exit. It was right next to where we started at the beginning. After heading through the door, I've coined this next place Death Alley. This is why. Finally making it through, we make it to an elevator that has a bridge that leads to another elevator, which then that elevator leads us to, you guessed it, another elevator, which is the rolled elevator. But before heading to the rolled elevator, we found the Fell twins who were guarding the Margot rune restore point. With our first great rune restored, it was time to continue our elevator to elevator journey. They didn't make it easy traversing to it, as they decided to give you snow blindness, and they put a massive gargoyle guard who was not happy we were there. Alas, no obstacle is great enough to deter Carrot from his quest. And with the vanquishing of the Black Blade Kindred, we had a free path to the rolled elevator leading us to the mountaintop of the giants. As we exit the elevator, we are met with a familiar face of Yura, but unfortunately, Shabriri had taken over Yura's dead body. With a heavy heart, Shabriri told us of Millennia's true destiny with the Flame of Ruin, and how we would need to sacrifice her in order to attain our ascendancy to the throne. He presented us with an alternative option, to meet with the Three Fingers and attain the frenzied flame and instead offer our own blood to save Millennia. Now unsure of what our plan with Millennia, we progressed forward. We'll make that decision later. With previous episodes showing how strong Carrot was, this area was about to prove the complete opposite. Enemies were a little easier to defeat one-on-one, but put them in a group and it was all over for the future Lord Carrot. Not only were the enemies getting harder, but the terrain was also proving to be more challenging to cross, with sections like these bringing back my childhood fears of falling off platforms in Super Mario 64. We crossed the sheer cliffs without incident. With a squat break to help improve Zeus's physical and mental health, we pushed on to a place that would test both those things. This may look like a big frozen lake with nothing to hide, but they did hide something. A fucking dragon. This dragon sucked. New movesets compared to the previous ones meant my usual evasionary methods weren't working, but after a long 30 minutes we were able to take Borealis down. With the dragon taken care of, it was back to exploring. We stop at a church to pick up a healing upgrade and sit with Millennia, where she expresses her thanks that we traveled together. She's happy to be sacrificed. This did not make the decision any easier, Millennia. Gosh, to save or not to save, that is the question. Whether it is nobler in the minds to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them? As a confused tarnish now, we moved ahead, finding the Lord Contender's Everjail, where the Round Table Knight Vike bested us a couple of times before finally releasing him from his prison. Still wielding the Bloodhound Fang from the very first episode, it was time for an upgrade, introducing the Rivers of Blood. Originally owned by Bloodyfinger Okina, we needed to destroy them to steal this legendary katana. With our new upgraded katana in hand, Carrot felt it was time to ascend the mountaintop and retrieve the Flame of Ruin. But first, a giant stood in our way. Why can't anything just be easy in this damn game? This is also no normal giant. This is the Fire Giant. This boss was a task and a half to take down, with massive swings of his favorite pan to rolling around like it's a parkour demonstration. His attacks kept Carrot away from his destination. Even getting the giant half dead was a huge undertaking, and that only made things worse. With one of the more gruesome phase transitions, the Fire Giant became a more deadly version, with extra fireballs, a giant eyeball, and lots of bashing from his hands. Carrot finally took care of him. With the Fire Giant dispatched, the way to the forge to obtain the Flame of Ruin was now free. But the decision to sacrifice myself or Millennia had to wait. First, we needed to go and meet Blade to explore the deep underbelly of the lands between Nokron. Searching underground for the Lord of Blood,